Hello, my Taurus collective, sun, moon, rising signs. Welcome to the brand new to my channel work, career, and vocation reads for October, November 2020. I am your reader, Angelo, Lyons, Mal for short, professional witch, professional intuitive, president of DrawingTheCircle Productions, the Archangel of Lyons, Angelo Lyons, but you can call me Mal. Hello, fellow earth signs. How are you doing, Virgo? That I am very ready to serve. This new series that I'm doing, I do these readings for myself all the time to check my own energies of work, career, and vocation. Being self-employed since 1998, it's a long time, right? And I did this last night, talking to my guides and my pantheons, and they were like, guess what you're doing this week? I'm like, oh, cool. And they're like, and do it on your phone, learn how to do it on your phone. It's time. I'm like, okay. I'm still going to do my, my HD recordings for, the rest of the ones that I do, but I wanted to see if I could pull this off and what the editing functions are like. I have my own editor that I work with on my laptop, but we're trying something new. So welcome aboard. Let's give this a shot. As I said, I'm very familiar with these particular readings. They're based on the work of Carolyn Mace, The 3 Levels of Power. The literal, the personal, and the symbolic levels of power and work, career, and vocation are certainly 3 different levels of service and life purpose in our lives. So looking at them as 3 different things that are all connected, a spectrum, if you will, because a lot of people may not get that they have all 3 in place written within their divine plan, if you want to say it that way. So getting clarity on which is which, and I will give that for you right now. The first level of power, work, is about what you do to survive, right? How you pay the bills, how you put food on the table, so to speak, but not always, because sometimes you could do that through career. Career is an internal hunger and thirst, mental hunger, emotional thirst, like your career, it feeds you, right? So this is why so many actors or artists, I should say, their career is as artists, what have you, but their work, how do they pay the bills, right? They pay the bills through, some other work. So you sort of get that, right? Vocation is a spiritual calling, or 3rd level of power there. You can even do this by chakras. Work is the lower 3 chakras that interact with the physical world. The heart, the throat, the 3rd eye, and the crown are the interior world, the personal level, right? Your career, what your heart yearns for, what your mind is envisioning. And that 8th chakra, your spiritual calling, all 3 of them together. And my work, career, and vocation are all enjoying the Circle Productions and service as a professional witch, intuitive, spiritual teacher, and all that stuff. So that's why it's so helpful to me, and I hope it is helpful for you. Please do like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, and comment. Let me know how this resonates for you. Help me reach my career goals as an artist and a healer and an intuitive. Help me get to my 30,000 subscribers so that I can do my extended reads here as well as on Vimeo on demand, right? Have that membership function. I'm excited for that. It's a goal, right? So let's do this. Please remember this is a general read. Check your other signs. I'm doing them. These are much faster to put out, I think, than the way I also do them using my HD camera and uploading and editing and all that stuff. So let's see where this goes. Shall we? Focus on your breath. Stay in the present moment. I will do the same to get you the clarity, guidance, and grace I was born to do and give and serve. Shall we? Breathe. Here we go. My collective pantheons of angels, goddesses, gods, the ascended masters, and the higher souls of all involved. Please, I need 3 cards for this Taurus collective, sun, moon, rising, Venus sign. What is their dominant archetype? All the decks that I read are in the description box all the way at the bottom. What are the 3 soul powers using the Caroline Mace archetype deck? 1 for their work, 1st level of power, 1 for their career, 2nd level of power, and 1 for their vocation, 3rd level of power. October, November, and November 2020. Their work, just leave it in my hand. Nope, close but no cigar, please. Their career, and their vocation. All right, so these are the first 3 cards. We're doing 9 in total. We'll also be using Daughters of the Moon Tarot and Mythic Tarot, as I often do. So usual suspects here. So keep in mind, archetypes are tricky in their triggery. They are lead and gold, shadow and light. So we'll see how these turn out. What do you got? My Taurus, you have a divine family as well as a wisdom family archetype card, the guide. So, you know, a guide in the literal sense can be someone like you fly to Hawaii, you hire someone to show you around, like a tour guide. It's very literal. But this is a divine family archetype. So the shadow attribute places financial gain and control over imparting spiritual insight. That's what I mean. Like if you, like in terms of spiritual work, I get that. But in terms of your survival, right? Keep an eye on that, because you might be getting insights about something mundane that are particularly spiritual, but, you know, I could see the hesitancy to want to share that in the workplace. But like, for example, my work is as president of DrawingTheCircle Productions. I don't get paid for the work that I do as president. Right? It's all the management and the tech and the learning and all of the footwork that I have to do physically, just all of this in my career, as well as take clients and run a house. It's all the president stuff in me. So to me, like the guide and the physical is like extremely important to me, because I find, well, because here's the light archetype, the light attribute. Represents the nature of the divine in life and in yourself. So absolutely, I could relate to this, that the divine is guiding me through my work, right? Like even they totally said to me, well, 2 in the morning today, they're like, this is what you're doing today. This is what you're going to do. You're going to do those 9 cards just like you did for yourself, and you're going to do it on your card. So I'm even giving guidance in that way. So to say that there is guidance there, but for you to kind of resonate with that guide archetype within your own archetypal structure, whether that is personal, whether it is the work itself that is a guide, or maybe someone there, but I kind of feel like this is you, and maybe the work that you are doing is helping you to tap into your own spiritual guidance while in the workplace or whatever it is that you do, even if you are looking for work. Survival stuff. Interesting. Our second card down is a survival family archetype. Always challenging. Remember, everybody has these 4, the child, the victim, the saboteur, and the prostitute. And believe me, the prostitute has very little to do with money, just as much as the child has very little to do with your chronological age. But we're dealing with the victim archetype here, and one that a lot of people are experiencing and alchemizing through their careers. Got interrupted there. Career, as I said, is an internal emotional hunger and thirst, right? Emotional thirst, mental hunger, right? Something that feeds you. It's very much the soul starts really expressing itself through career. Now, the victim archetype, as I said, everybody has, right? We all have this, including corporations and companies. So if you're working, if your career is in a corporate environment, see how this plays out. The shadow attribute, playing the victim for positive feedback in the form of pity, which I do see in the career world, right? I do see our industry has been hit so hard. And if that's true, that's true. But watch out for that, right? And maybe you're doing it in your career. Maybe someone is really teaching you about this. Inability to maintain personal boundaries, which in career, are you kidding me? I still struggle with that. I'm self-employed, so I'm the only one who has to set my boundaries. My schedule, for example, of not just what I'm going to do, but when I'm going to do it and how much. Remember, I'm a Virgo. I can overthink that shit forever. So I can really relate to this, feeling like a victim, but the light side is victory, right? So remember, they're neutral. As dark as the shadow is as bright as the light. The light attribute prevents you from letting yourself be victimized or victimizing others. And I can see that happening in a corporate career structure. Absolutely. With what's going on planet Earth right now, I'm beginning to see how timely these readings might be. So we're going to put all these together. And of course, there are other cards coming. Oh my. In your vocation, though, this is one we don't necessarily connect with, maybe more spiritual vocation, spiritual calling, but you're dealing with the divine, the feminine family archetype of the damsel. The damsel is brilliant. The damsel is great. And it ain't always female. Remember, these are all gender neutral. The shadow attribute, waiting for a knight, K-N-I-G-H-T, not to be confused with the J-Lo song, waiting for a knight to provide for you. Seduction by romantic illusions. Now that can be very, very interesting in terms of a calling. Remember, these three things can play themselves out in different areas of our lives. My spiritual calling is part of my work and my career. It's just how I have it. That's what I was scripted for in this life. But this could really be about looking for rescue. But wait till you hear the gold, the light attribute, understanding the nature of healthy romance inspires you to rely on yourself. So this could be a calling to do your spiritual vocation in this world with great love and great passion. You could be in love. You could have a romance with service and life purpose in that way. This could totally be about your relationship with the divine, becoming more self-assured and dependent upon your own calling to pull you through what you may or may not be aware of in need of guidance in the work, and this sense of perhaps feeling victimized or victimizing others in terms of your career. But with that damsel, I really love that. Like well, because victim and damsel we put together so often in terms of our fairy tales and our stories, right? It's like the damsel in distress. I mean, regardless of gender here, I could still feel that going on planet Earth, right? Like waiting for someone to come and rescue you. Ever after Drew Barrymore, Cinderella rescues herself. Sorry for the spoiler, but that's what this kind of feels like here. This feels like you really kind of making your own way. Do it, sister, doing it for herself, regardless of gender. But something really, truly beautiful here in terms of the calling, like divine love calling you forward. Let's clarify this. We're going to use the Daughters of the Moon Tarot. We have the soul power here. We're going to look at the internal world, the yin-internal world, right? The feminine aspect within ourselves. What's going on in a way in that second level of power, the world behind your eyes for work, career, and vocation. Take a nice deep breath, you'll see. My goddesses, please. The cumulative, collective, divine feminine energy of the universe, please. I need 3 cards in clarity. Work, career, vocation for this Taurus collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus sign. What's going on for them internally? We'll do them 3 cards down. We'll turn them over one at a time, please. So what's going on for them inside their work? Inside, what's going on for them? Career, and one please for vocation. Very, very fast once this reading gets going. We laid the foundation of the archetypes. Let's see what's going on inside you. Got the guide in the work with the 2 of Pentacles, juggling, balance. That totally makes sense. Then on the inside, you're like, remember, it's not indecision. It's internally finding your balance, finding your footing, right? Like how you feel and what you have to do. You have to balance that stuff. I really feel that to be more of the Chariot card, but that's major arcana. This is minor arcana. This is temporary, right? Inside of you, like I don't feel that the 2 of Pentacles so much indecision. I see that as 2 of Flames. I would say that 2 of Swords is analysis, going back and forth, perhaps being stuck between 2 things. This is about getting your own internal interior balance together, right? Like maybe you've lost your work. Maybe you're out of work. Maybe you are unemployed, right? So this kind of thing, well, it's not an indecision. It's just about getting yourself balanced right now. So know that the guidance is within you. It's always within you. But this is talking about a major development of archetypal power. And I feel like this is within you, or your work situation is literally guiding you to develop this strength of interior balance, right? Yes, perhaps that is, left brain, right brain kind of stuff going on there, equilibrium, but that could also be financially, right? Like how to get this all in balance with the inflow to match the outflow, if you know what I mean. As a business owner, I know what I mean. Your personal world, your career has the Victor archetype with the wise one, the hermit in the Daughters of the Moon Tarot. That's brilliant. So your interior world right now is where your career lies in terms of pulling back voluntarily, though it seems like we're forced there sometimes, but that would be the card of the exile, not the card. Hermit goes willingly. She got up on that horse herself, the crone, the Kaliach, right? high position, just like in the traditional tarot of the hermit on top of a mountain. Here we have the Cailleach riding a gray horse over what appears to be a stone circle, probably Stonehenge. So to get that altitude by pulling back. So in terms of what's ever going on in your career, check inside yourself for the part of you that feels victimized. Now, the economy the way it is, it makes sense. People would feel victimized. I get it. Totally get it. It's 2020. But that there's the voice of the victim inside of you is there to be alchemized into the victory, right? The four survival archetypes, the child, the victim, victor, the saboteur, empowerer, and the prostitute. They're all guardians of different kinds of power. I guess you could say all archetypes are guardians of their particular flavor. Well, the victim archetype is the guardian. Wingardium Leviosa, the guardian of self-esteem and boundaries, right? So this is self-esteem. This is you estimating yourself. Remember, self-esteem is a verb, not a noun. No one can give it to you. It's self-esteem. Even if it was a noun, you would still only be able to give it to yourself. But look at the word estimation. Self-estimation, which changes and like weather and blow. Thank you, Carrie Fisher. Yeah, perfect. Like if you're gonna get the victim archetype, right? Why not do it from that place of really taking the time and space to heal yourself, if you have the availability to do that, right? Maybe that's part of the physical balancing act that's going on inside of you. How do I balance? How do I balance? Maybe you're a parent at home with children and trying to work. How do I balance all of this? You're being guided. And if you're feeling victimized because other people's needs are coming before yours, I get it. I was a high priest for years. Never again, the high priest years. Well, lovely. The damsel archetype in your vocation with the Aries card. Now, yes, of course, in Aries, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, whoever, whatever could be involved there. But this is probably more about self stuff, right? A calling to rescue yourself. Very much the light attribute. Understanding the nature of healthy romance, which that may or may not be part of this. But inspires you to rely upon yourself with that Aries card, Calafia, right? A leader. It is that self-esteem. It is that spiritual self, that cardinal fire that says, I can do this. I can lead my own way. Thank you very much. With guidance and grace. Lovely. This is lovely, lovely, lovely. I can feel the instability in that physical level of power, right? You can see them all here now. Good. Right? That Two of Pentacles juggling balance. This is all inside. Let's see what's going on the outside, right? Let's do this. The Mythic Tarot. Let's ask the gods. Ready? Nice deep breath. My gods, please. We've got the guide, the victim, and the damsel for work, career, vocation. Feeling that balance. Feeling the bull dance. Doing the bull dance. Feeling the flow there with the bull leapers in the work. Feeling the crone. Feeling the wise one. Feeling the hermit on the inside and for career. And for vocation, this damsel finding their own internal self-esteem and boundaries. But in terms of a vocation, a real turning point, a real moving forward of their own connection of the divine. So please, 3 cards in clarity for work, career, vocation for the Taurus collective, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus sign in terms of the yang, the external. My gods, please. 1 for the Taurus with the guide, with the balance, 2 of Pentacles. 1 for the victim, the career, with the hermit, and 1 for, I'll let that one go around again. 1 for the damsel, the maiden of flames, the Aries card for their vocation, please. Yeah, they may not be wholly aware of this part. I get that. That's why it was a little tricky getting that card out, but let's see. Be said for work. The guide archetype is being alchemized from lead to gold, shadow to light. While inside there's this iffy, finding your balance, your equilibrium there. And on the outside with the star. Oh my God, the guiding star. Stars were used for navigation long before we had a compass or a map, right? We just kind of follow that North Star and figure out the other directions from there. So there is guidance here. I mean, literally 2 very strong guidance influences here energetically. while you are getting it together. So look at a baby learning to walk. I mean, you do have the Aries card on the table. It's the baby, the infant of the zodiac first sign, right? So like it's like you're learning how to walk again in your work. You may not know where you're going, but you're being guided. You know, just because we don't end up where we thought we needed to go or where we wanted to go doesn't mean we weren't guided. I mean, how many heroes' journeys, right? You set off for Athens, you end up in Uranus. Sorry. That was a god. He is the sky god, by the way. He's a god before they named a planet after him. So very interesting for work. I mean, I get the sense of uncertainty here, but there's hope. There is hope. Your wishes, your dreams, your highest visions might very well, you are being guided into them, but you are still finding your footing here on the inside, right? Outside, no matter what you're fronting with, inside there's this whoa, finding your balance. So for career, the personal world, again, we've got the victim, victor archetype, remember it's not all victim, with the card of the hermit here on the inside, very much feeling the hermit. And here's your Two of Wands. Here's your Two of Wands with the indecision. Do I want to do this or do I want to do that? Do I want to do so on the outside in your career, you do have a choice or a decision to make. Now, I would say if it was the card of the Lovers here, this would really indicate something a bit more life-changing, major arcana, but this is minor arcana. This is, I have the inspiration, or I should say I have the desire, I have the will, the firepower. I just don't know whether to take this quest or this one, right? To bypass this one. And so going within, right? Throwing up the wall of the boundary of the victor archetype, right? Keeping it within yourself, really contemplating it, but seeking higher, right? Which makes sense that your vocation may be, they all influence each other. Your vocation influences your career, your work, and the other way around too. They shift, right? I haven't done the same thing forever. I used to work in retail. Let's teach Mark how to deal with crazy people in public, particularly it was metaphysical, spiritual retail, most of it, crystal stores and whatnot. Not so. But that's why I'm so good at what I do now, right? Just guided all the way here. There's so many stories to tell about my career. Wait until my book comes out. I'll get to that one, the autobiography of my career. Remember, we've got the damsel here in your vocation with the Aries card. If you like, this is the King of Wands. Maiden of Flames. She plays with the gender and the roles of it. I love it. And I love it. Justice. Athena. Justice. I love that you've got a damsel and a virgin goddess. I do. And Calafia, a maiden. It's maidens all the way across. That there is something very, very pure and very, very innocent in your experience of your calling and your divine through this. It is about your own self-empowerment, self-healing, self-love, all of that stuff to bring yourself in to not just balance, but hello, you got the balance card right here. So there's a little psychic circuit going on there. So absolutely, go within, go like a damsel to the divine. I mean the actual divine, not the drag queen, though, maybe her too. To really, really tune in and ask. I mean, this makes total sense. Let me put this together. I think this will resolve itself for you very quickly if you haven't caught on what's going on here. So looking at the whole picture here, in your work, you have the guide archetype with balance and the star. So you're being guided, you're finding your balance internally, mentally, emotionally, what have you, to take the steps necessary to follow the guidance and grace that's coming to you. Gorgeous. In the physical world, that's great. You're going to be fine. Like I'm feeling financially, you're going to be fine. In terms of work, if that's how you make your money, like I said, I do mine through work, I do mine through career. For your career, this is so essential to heal. The 4 survival archetypes, the child, the victim, the saboteur, the prostitute, are the trunk of the tree. All the other archetypal families or branches, right? If the trunk isn't healthy, right? So this is absolutely about your career, about having the self-esteem. Remember, it's a verb. It's a verb. It's a verb. With the hermit here, with taking time and space, pulling within in order to really contemplate and feel out what is true for you by going to a higher power, your vocation, with the damsel, saying, I kind of feel like I need to be rescued, but I'd rather rely on my own self here and the power of my own source. Relying on the divine is not codependency, it's God dependency. work. And of course, with this Aries card here, this is about self-starting. It's about inspiration. It's about initiating. It's about starting new things. Totally about personal power. And with that card of justice, that the balance that you create here is the same thing that's going to help you balance this two of flame so that you could really clarify what you want. Remember, after the two comes the three of flames, usually about loyalty, right? So a commitment, an initial commitment, that's going to actually help balance that within you. This is just gorgeous. I love these readings for people other than me. Because, you know, when it's 3 in the morning and you're dealing them for yourself, you're like, yeah, I fucking know. But this is really quite gorgeous. So may the Taurus collective, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus signs be blessed with all that they need. October, November 2020 in their work, career, vocation, to find the guidance, follow the star with the balance that they need in their work, in their career, to activate their skills of self-esteem and boundary setting here while they go within and feel out this indecision. While, like the damsel in their vocation, reaching from that point and place of the hermit high above to really learn how to rely on herself through her own spiritual power and, well, as the damsel, spiritual power, with this self-love, with this self-respect, with this self-empowerment, bringing them into justice in their vocation, that they may grow, may heal, may evolve, may become the best that they can be, fulfilling their part of the divine plan through their work, career, and vocation for their well-being and for the well-being of all. So motivate. And so it is kick-ass reading. Please do like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, and comment, what does this mean to you? I don't mean what does this mean to you metaphorically. I mean like, oh my God, that's what I'm doing for work, and this is what's going on. Like that kind of stuff is the comments. That's what helps me connect to the people I'm reading for, right? If people just give an interpretation of what they think it means in general, that's fine. Get a channel. Or if you're already a reader, have at it. I don't care. If you're already reading on YouTube, we're brothers and sisters anyway. Just say what you see. But certainly for yourself, I'd like to know your own personal feedback. Otherwise, wishing you the very best and the very blessed of your work, career, vocation, October, November 2020. My Taurians, hail, farewell, and blessed be.